Hello, everybody out there getting muscled with MuscleD. This is Jeff G, Heavy G here, talking about today Milo of Croton. Milo was a wrestler about 2,500 years ago. He was Greek in actually a southern Italian Greek colony called Croton. So Milo was a Croatian wrestler. And when he was starting out, he walked by a farm and he saw a baby calf. And that baby calf, he picked it up and he carried it around. And he decided, for some odd reason, every single day he was going to pick up the stupid calf and he was going to carry it around. Well, over the years, the calf grew big and grew into a bull. So it went from whatever a calf is, 50 or 60 pounds, up to whatever a bull is, 1,000 or 2,000 pounds. And the story is he carried around this giant bull and he was super strong and was basically undefeated in wrestling and won like 30 competitions and won the Olympics like 6 times in a row. It's kind of a legend. It's kind of a not a legend. But the story that it comes from is the basic principle of progressive overload, which all training programs are based off of. So everything from, hey, I'm starting out as a beginner, to, hey, I'm doing a Russian or Bulgarian multi-year, training cycle, all periodization. Everything is based on how can I creatively make little tiny increments every single day and get super big results across a long time. So as we're getting muscled with MuscleD, we're talking about the basics of small incremental improvements over time that really make a big difference in your year-to-year training, because fitness is really a year-to-year training, and a lot of people will say, oh, I'm going to start working out in the new year, and then I stop. Oh, I'm going to start working out right before summer, and then I stop. And that's a little bit like trying to lift a bull once when you're not prepared. You never started lifting the calf first. So the real answer is you just have to do it all the time. Consistency, like everything in life. So we're here at MuscleD Fitness, and we're consistently working on just general improvement for the company. How do I do inventory better? How does customer service better? How do we do better, build better equipment? What needs to change design-wise? How do we design a better way to train a tricep or a bicep? Or how do we add a better squat machine? What has to happen there? Every single day, you're making incremental improvements over the course of a long period of time, and training is exactly the same way. I'm starting out, and I need some basic principles. So one, have good technique with everything. Make sure you have good technique. So if you're starting out, spend a week or 3 or 4 just training the program, doing it on a regular basis, and making sure your technique is phenomenal. Then when we start measuring small improvements, we can say, okay, you take that same workout, and if it took you 40 minutes to go through it the last 4 weeks while you were getting better at it, then we say, okay, well, now we're going to do it in 38 minutes. And then next week, we're going to do it in 35 minutes. So this is what's called workout density, and everything gets compressed into the same amount of work gets compressed into less time. That's a measure of improvement. This is part of your progressive overload. I'm doing more work in less time. That's an improvement. Then we say, okay, well, what's my next move? Well, my next move is maybe we add some reps. So I'll do 3 sets of 10 for those first 4 weeks, and then the next couple of weeks of increasing the density or decreasing the amount of time it takes to do the workout. Now we're going to add some reps. Okay, I did 3 sets of 10, and I'm going to do 3 sets of 12 next week, and I'm going to do 3 sets of 15 the week after that. I'm doing 3 sets of 20 the week after that. Those little incremental improvements make all the difference in the world. Then the next few weeks you can say, okay, well, now that I've increased the reps, let's increase the sets. So now I go from 3 sets, and next week I'm going to do 4 sets, and next week I'm going to do 5 sets. Well, now I'm doing 5 sets, 20 reps, when I started at 3 sets of 10. So you've already increased the number of reps. You've increased the amount of sets, and that increases your overall training volume. So you decreased the time, increased the volume, which means it's taking you longer to do. Then the next weeks you say, okay, well, if I'm back up to 45 minutes of working out, I'm going to compress that down to 40 and just decrease your rest periods and start getting more work into less time. After a couple of weeks of decreasing the amount of time it takes to do the workout, we say, okay, well, let's go back to 3 sets of 10 and add some weight. Because at that point, you're going to be able to add some weight. And this is just your small incremental progress. And when we were working with, when I'm working with athletes back in the day, or I'm a personal trainer and I'm working with a myriad of different people, whether they're powerlifters or strongmen, or a mom who wants to garden and be more fit and be able to keep up with her kids, or a lady that wants to go cross-country skiing with her kids and keep up. The principle is all the same. You start with wherever you're at, and you make these small little wins. And one of the biggest things mentally is making that little bit of improvement every single time or every single week. So hey, that's a win. Hey, I'm better. And over the course of time, now you get better and better and better and better. So when we apply this, as we're getting muscled with MuscleD, we say, okay, well, I'm doing a bunch of machines, and I'm getting good at my regular squats, and I'm getting good at my bench press, and I'm getting good at my bent over rows, my lunges, step-ups, whatever exercises we're doing, and making sure the quality is good. And then we can start increasing our making our little progressive overload improvements over time. So what we'll end up talking about here is we're going to say, okay, now we're going to make the progress using this basic method, and we can start adding other methods later on. So people, they do speed work and, max effort work and accommodating resistance and all this different like waves of training and conjugate training and multi-year, 4-year training and periodization. All that is just based on we're going to make a little bit of improvement every single week, every single time, and that adds up to something in 4 years. So if you're an Olympian and you're training for something, well, the Olympics are every 4 years. I'm here, I have 4 years to improve. Everything you do is incremental improvements for 4 years till that next Olympics. Or in the case of a person, hey, I want to cut weight, I want to get more ripped, and I want to have some strength. Everything you do every single day is what adds up to, hey, I'm kind of jacked and tan in about 2 years. And then you're constantly improving. So you look at your bodybuilders, your fitness, your figure people. All of that is based on you're just consistently doing something every single day. And that's a principle we take here at MuscleD as far as the culture and the company we run of making incremental improvements on every single thing every single day, which is why we have such a neat and broad array of equipment. And we take that same principle that's applied to training and we apply it to basically life. And now we can provide you with equipment that goes along with your consistent training, and boom, we've got a recipe for success. So until next time out there in Getting Muscled World, this is Heavy G, Jeff G with MuscleD saying peace.